Today, the moon is in Libra, and I want to share with you some tips for bringing balance into your relationships. So, Libra is the sign of peace and balance and justice and all the different ways that we seek balance. And it also, of course, has to do with relationships, which is about how we balance with another human being, how we do that dance, right? Of the dynamic of there being two instead of one, instead of just yourself, right? And so really profound and hard work, the work of relationships. So I'll share some tips with you today about how to bring balance into your relationships. I'm Marina Ormes here with your Astro Vibe for Wednesday, January 3rd. And so the moon went into Libra last night, and with that vibe of the moon in Libra, it brings a focus to relationships and to doing that dance between the self and the other, right, in a general sense. And it, of course, shows up in the specifics in the form of who you are trying to get along with, whether it's a spouse or a partner, or whether it is a stranger even, or someone else, a friend, a coworker, a colleague, anyone that you have a one-on-one or one-to-one relationship with. So with a stranger, it might be very brief, right? It might be eye contact as you're driving by somebody on the street corner. That's a kind of relationship, albeit very brief. But we have all different kinds of relationships. So anyway, the point for today is how to bring balance into our relationships. And one of the biggest challenges of relationships is to remember that to have real balance, we have to have 50% of ourselves and 50% of the other person. And that means that we need to expand into ourselves, but we also need to not expand into, being bigger than we should be. So we have to think about how we are showing up. Are we shrinking and making ourselves small? Or are we taking up too much space and not listening to the needs and wishes and perspectives of the other person? And so think about, and it might be different areas where you do more one versus the other, right? Maybe in when you're talking about a certain subject, you tend to shrink. And when you're talking about a different subject, you feel confident and full of yourself, and you may shut the other person out a little bit more. So remembering to kind of look at and pay attention to how much space you're taking up, and how much space you're allowing or factoring in for the other person, and how you can bring a little bit more balance to that, a little bit more 50-50, right? Do you need to do more listening? Do you need to speak up more? And of course, this is going to unfold as well at work, in your workplace, in your community, right? Wherever you find yourself interacting with other people. So and it might be a constant adjustment, right? Like you go from one person to another and you find that you're taking up more space, and then you go to the next person and you find that you tend to silence yourself on that particular topic or with that particular person. So balance means listening and sharing, right? It means balance. It means being receptive to what the other person has to offer, but it also means having boundaries and saying, yeah, I am not going to compromise who I am and who I need to be in order to accommodate or please you, right? avoiding that people-pleasing tendency, but also recognizing, sometimes we do need to compromise. Sometimes we're overstepping a little bit. And so paying attention to where you might be doing one or the other, either overstepping or becoming a little bit of a doormat and trying to please someone through not stepping on their toes or not making waves. And so it's a great time to just sort of reflect on how you are showing up in, don't, you might have a lot of relationships to think about. So just pick one that is showing up right now during this moon sign, and think about it. Maybe do a little bit of journaling, reflecting on it. And as well, with this Libra moon, we also have the third quarter. So we are 1 week past the full moon in Cancer. The Libra moon is forming that third quarter. So it's sort of pushing us to get clear about something, putting a little bit of pressure on us to recognize who we are and maybe where we either need to expand a little bit or rein it in a little bit, based on what we notice. So first step is to notice what's going on. And then the next step would be to experiment a little bit, take some baby steps in the direction of trying it a little bit differently in a way that might help to restore some balance or bring about more of a balanced feeling in the relationship. So thinking about that, thinking about this moon cycle that began with a Sagittarius new moon. So we are working on the theme of the bigger picture of meaning, of how we understand, how we explain, how we tell the story. And that includes our beliefs, how we are framing our understanding of the world, how our beliefs are shaped by what we understand to be true. And so we have this opportunity, this beautiful opportunity as we step into a new year to embrace new beliefs and tell a new story and think about what's really important to us. And so maybe this is an opportunity to get a little bit more balanced in a way that will help you reach that goal, that Sagittarian goal of where you want to be, what makes your heart sing. So thanks so much for being here. I am Marina Ormes, and you can learn more about me and how to work with me at astrologyheals.com. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to check out my recent videos on the astrology of 2024. Where are we? 2024 has some important things that you need to be aware of. We are heading into an election year. So I have a really powerful video about the astrology around November 5th, 2024, the day of the election in the United States. So what are the dynamics? What are the energies we'll be dealing with? How can you step into your power as we go through this important time in United States history? Check it out, Astrology of 2024, the astrology of the November 5th election. So it should be in my recommended playlist in recent videos. So go check that out. There are other videos for Astrology of 2024 as well, a new story for humanity, what the planets are bringing us. So lots of great big picture stuff to be thinking about. And thanks for being here. And thanks for subscribing and liking and sharing with a friend. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.